welcome back to my channel. So we are gonna hop in here. Now I see that there was a video before the conversation with Amber and Shayla. Dalicia and Shayla continue the conversation. Now, Shayla asked her how she feels about asking Amber for forgiveness. Now, Dalicia, knowing that she is in the same situation that Shayla was in and how she's wrangling with it, she wants to know probably how Shayla felt when she was doing the same thing to Amber. So Dalicia asked Shayla, how did she feel when she was crossing Amber? I think Dalicia wants to get a little insight. Should she feel bad? Do she feel bad? I don't think she feels as bad as she used to, especially getting that 15K. But knowing that Iman may be ending stuff with Shayla soon, how are you wrestling with that within? How do you feel when you're talking to your friend, acting like everything's okay, knowing what is about to happen soon, or maybe if Iman and you decide to go through it, letting them know what's going on so y'all can have y'all open, free relationship. So this is going to be interesting. How did Shayla feel? We saw how she was going about this whole thing, and she didn't give a damn. Dalicia, she did not care. She didn't give Amber a second thought. It was about her wants and her needs. So you better be telling the truth, Shayla. Let's get in here.
You sleep right on schedule.
Oh, my baby's such a big boy now.
I know, I love that. It took me forever just to get him in some sort of rhythm.
Yeah.
See if you want to text me. Yeah.
So I was thinking about what we talked about earlier, and you and I really haven't had the conversation about like the emotional aspect of it, like your mindset when it was going on. Like, did you feel like any regret, or did you feel hurtful? Did you feel like what you were doing was wrong when you were doing it?
What do you mean? Me and Anthony? Or
What do you mean? Yeah.
Anthony, like, did you feel it was wrong while you were doing it to Amber being your friend?
If I'm being honest,
be honest.
At the time when me and Anthony were dealing with each other, we were really in love. So I don't think love is ever wrong.
Girl, bye.
And when it just comes to
remember that, Shayla. Remember that. Because this is how Dalicia feels. Are you going to have that same empathy? You feel that there was no wrong in what you was doing, regardless, taking advantage while a man was drunk, continuing it afterwards, letting him know that Amber was dealing with Wayne just so he can be pissed off and continue this with you. That's the only reason why you said it, so he won't end it, because he was about to, and said this has to stop. And then you threw the fact that she was with Wayne. And Amber never knew that. This is still something Amber never knew who was the one that told Anthony about her and Wayne. She still don't know, I don't think, to this day, that it was you, Shayla. And that's what you did so this affair can continue till you got pregnant. It's like crazy, because you felt he loved you. You didn't see it. No, y'all wasn't in love from the beginning. You was infatuated with this man, and he just got caught up in something. Over time, do I think he probably loved you and have some feelings? Yeah. At this point, I just feel Anthony mainly just loves himself, and he feels good about whoever he's with at the time. He may love you in his own little way. In love, I don't know how. He's not in love with anyone, because it's not transforming him at all. When love does something, it really transforms, it elevates, it changes. Love is very passionate. It's an action word that does stuff. Anthony is still very much deceptive. He does things, he hides, he manipulates, he's very conniving, and I don't see love in that. I don't see love in that at all. So I think he's probably the most authentic and honest, maybe with Shayla than he is with Amber. That's why I think there is more love for Shayla than it is with Amber. The meaning behind certain things that he does and motives are not the same. And Shayla is more ruthless and upright with him, and straightforward and direct. And I think he respects that more than when Amber coddles him and tries to submit in that godly way she thinks, even though he's trying to connect more with God through her. He needs to discover God and connect more in his own right so it can change him, not based on somebody saying something to him, but on his own study, on his own prayers. He needs to do this. You can't depend on nobody else to lead you like that. They can guide you, they can give advice. That's what a lot of ministers are for. But that journey and that relationship with God has to be on your own. And that's what Anthony has not worked to formulate. But this whole situation, y'all was so in love at that time. No, when all this transpired, this is the fantasy world that Shayla was in. But remember that
feelings and emotions. Of course, feelings aren't facts, but at the time, it really felt like I was with the person I was supposed to be with, regardless of how it looked to the world, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So the only thing that I
that ain't answering the question.
is playing in Amber's face when I should have just kept it real with her and been honest about what I was feeling, what was going on, and I dropped the ball on that, and I wasn't a good friend to her. But as far as how I felt about Anthony, it felt right. Like that was what I was supposed to do, and that's where I was supposed to be.
Right. Yeah, I feel that. I feel like God makes no mistakes. So I feel you on that. Like,
and I don't want to put God in it because I think as humans we're selfish. So we're putting our own self-interest. And
that's the best thing she said. That's the best thing she said. God don't make no mess, Dalicia. So how this is going, the deceptiveness, the lies, the playing in her face, just like I can't believe I'm agreeing with Shayla. Yes, do not put God in that, because for our own selfish reasons, we do these things. Oh, Shayla, I commend progress. I really do. Good girl. That is the truth. We're selfish. And in that is not God. So don't use it. Don't use it even for you, Dalicia. She said the biggest regret was not being honest with her on how she was feeling, what she wanted. That was because you was violating their marriage. They made that covenant and you was up there and interfering in that covenant, and it was just, that wasn't godly. And it was wrong and it was selfish. But should you have come clear on it? Yeah, that's how you felt. And if you lost a friend, then you would have knew if Anthony was really serious with you, or that's a discussion you and Anthony needed to have, and then go to Amber. But he didn't. He just wanted to continue to deceive. He didn't want to end his marriage. He just wanted to sneak around. Remember, y'all was supposed to have Kai, was supposed to be a secret forever until they got busted. They was literally planning on keeping this child a secret for as long as they could. I guess college and everything, boy grown. Amber would have never knew that Kai continued to be Arby's. And it was really Anthony's. Like, how long they was going to do that was absolutely insane. But best comment you made ever, Shayla.
And how we feel emotionally ahead of like what's actually right. But when you're in your feelings, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but when I say God makes no mistakes, it's almost like God placed Anthony into your life for a reason, and Kai being that reason. I feel like everything happened for a reason, and Kai is a blessing. So I feel you. Like when you love who you love, it's almost like it's meant to be in that moment.
Dalicia,
So
Kai is not the mistake. The act that you two did was a mistake. God did not place Anthony in her life to have Kai. You just happened to have Kai because y'all had sex. And physically, that's what happens. That's nature. So that's what happened. You made a choice to get involved with this married man. He made a choice as a married man to get involved with you. And the circumstances of y'all continuously to have unprotected sex was the birth of Kai. That is not the mistake. The act was the mistake. But this child was a blessing for you, but also a lesson, Shayla. And, you know, that aside, but what you did was wrong. And I can't agree that he placed Anthony in your life for a reason. That was the circumstance that happened based to the act that you two did, period.
Yeah.
I mean, you apologizing to Amber is very big of you, but
I owe her that for sure, because
You
the
do.
way I treated her as a friend, that's a relationship too. Like
Right.
friendships matter also.
yeah.
And that just wasn't right how I did her. But as far as how I felt for Anthony, that actually felt right.
Right.
So I just, should have went about it another way.
You hear that, Dalicia?
I can't take it back.
The best way was to stay away from your best friend's
I feel you
husband.
on that. I do. I commend you though for being a bigger person now and apologizing and asking for forgiveness, because that's important.
Yeah. Thanks, girl. Yeah. Life is crazy.
It is, but thank God for Kai and all,
Yeah. I love my baby.
So this was just basically a session to help Dalicia figure out how is Shayla's heart, how she felt. Is she going through something similar to me? And going to her and asking her forgiveness. If I do the same, she may forgive me once all of this comes out. So we know what this was about. It's good that Shayla is acknowledging her wrong, because that's where it starts. On the road to redemption and atonement, it's about acknowledging, pointing out the wrong in what you did. That's a feeling that you went for because you loved Amber's life. You also know the wrong that Amber was doing to Anthony. You didn't think it was right because you knew Anthony was a good man. And if she wasn't going to appreciate him, you sure was, because you wanted a good man in your life, even if though it was your friend's husband. Shayla wanted that. She felt she deserved it. She felt that at that time, Amber didn't deserve him. So she was better for him. She could have very well went to another man, and you had Arby. But you wanted that because you felt that the status that not only was a good man in your eyes, the status that he had and the lifestyle that he afforded Amber, you felt you deserved that. And that's when somebody feels they should have what somebody else has. And it starts to get very manipulative and very deceitful. It goes from being jealous to envious. And envy is the mother of murder. And envy can be the root of something because it eats you up at the core, that you really want your life to be somebody else's. You really want what they have. And that envy can make you really take over your mind to the point it can almost be deadly. So you got to be careful and always ask God to preserve your heart and mind and spirit. And what's for you is for you. Never want what someone else has, because you really don't know what they went through to get what they got. You don't want that same journey. You just want the end result. And you got to go through your own journey, your own process. And when you appreciate that and be grateful for the journey, your own personal journey along the way, the ups and downs, you learn to appreciate and be grateful, and your blessing will come. But don't let that turn into jealousy and envy, because it can eat you at the root. But this was a great conversation, and it's a lot to look at with how Shayla saw through that process and what she's about to face herself with. And Dalicia need to hear that, because she's about to face the same thing. So that was interesting. Put in the comments what you think about that conversation.